Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Pan-African News. My name is Ivy Dede Nakite. In the next 1 hour, we'll be bringing you stories making headlines both locally and globally. Now, coming up, Supreme Court to hear the 2020 general election petition on Thursday. We will get you the nitty-gritty on that. Also coming up, university schools across the country reopening today. We will be speaking to some fresh students to know their reactions. We'll also be updating you on COVID-19 cases here in Africa. And ahead in business, African Center for Energy Policy, AfCFTA, has launched a report on gender budgeting of mineral revenue in Ghana. We will be hearing why it's necessary. These, among sports, international from our international partners, the Post Dispatch, and some stories from Showbiz. Do stay with us.
Na jawti kai mu da do du presi wa se wan ti mensi
make me sis me sire why na me yifa na teche wo o dari malaria din ya chisa
e da ka akoma 2 years so onom dan proke heba mister usi simbadu say from oyire so doctor ka cheni say o malaria mo ani bi oni pedue mu a so onom dank antima x yare malaria ebe kokora obi wo hono ma ne yem ye ne yanso a so onom dank gastro care heba mister oho beton dank phyto care heba mister koko ebe ye hu adwuma ma wapono waposo ohu tutu dank extra care heba mister obenya hoden ne watimi anante make food dank no nyina e di amamo
na ebenya dwedwe nya bi we
pharmacy shop ana heba shop also pe dank nu a ye be ma obi
acho mo number ye sen
0266593330
enroi oba penfo oba ma akora nufo ani akora woni mfie du mienu ntimi no FDA ahwehwe saa edwadie nkratwe mu agya atom se eye.
Thank you for staying. This is Pan-African News live in our studios here, 48 Swanika Street, Abelempe, in Accra. We are live across 32 African countries. My name is Ivy Dede Nakite. Now, in our first story, the Superior Court of Judicature will on Thursday, January 14, 2021, commence the hearing of election petition filed by the National Democratic Congress flag bearer John Dramani Mahama. This follows the petitioner's claims that the results of the December 7 presidential elections were flawed and inaccurate.
Supreme Court rules enacted by Parliament in 2017, Supreme Court Amendments Number 2, CI 99, has made it clear that presidential election disputes will be determined within 42 days. Thursday marks day 15 of the 42 days timeline given for the entire process. On December 30th, former President John Dramani Mahama filed a petition at the Supreme Court challenging the results that were declared by the Electoral Commission on December 9. According to the petitioner, data gathered shows that no candidate secured over 50% of the valid vote cast in the 2020 presidential elections. This, he said, qualifies no candidate under Article 63, Clause 3 of the 1992 Constitution to be declared president-elect. Per the 1992 Constitution, a person cannot be elected as president of Ghana unless at the presidential election, the number of votes in favor is more than 50% of the total number of valid votes cast at the election. Based on this claim, the petitioner John Dramani Mahama is asking the Supreme Court of Ghana to declare the results announced by the Electoral Commission as unconstitutional, null and void. The NDC's legal team for the election petition shall be headed by Tony Litha, whereas legal heavyweight Akoto Ampao will lead the legal team of the New Patriotic Party to defend President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is the second respondent in the case. Meanwhile, the first respondent in the election petition, Electoral Commission, and the second respondent, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, have prayed the Supreme Court to dismiss John Mahama's incompetent election petition. The first respondent accordingly raises preliminary legal objection to the petition as being incompetent and not as required by Article 64, Clause 1 of the Constitution and the Rule 68, Clause 1 of the Supreme Court Rules 1996 CI CI16 challenging the validity of the presidential elections conducted by the first respondent on December 7.
The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has stressed the need for Ghana and France to renew their commitment to forging an ambitious economic partnership between both nations. He made the call at the inauguration of a new French embassy in Ghana.
The pandemic was confirmed to have spread to Africa on February 14, 2020.
Between France and Ghana date back several centuries, with our two countries establishing formal diplomatic relations some 64 years ago. The governance structures of France and Ghana are bound by common values of respect for individual liberties and human rights, adherence to the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability. And they provide a strong basis for cordial cooperation and collaboration between our two countries. I'm hopeful that Ghana and France will continually search for ways to cooperate. I have no doubt that together our two countries can forge an even stronger partnership for cooperation for the mutual benefit of our two peoples. Ghana stands ready to renew and deepen her relations with France for the prosperity and progress of our two buildings. And the opening of La Chancellerie Française d'Accra should be a spring in the step of our relations.
Crossing over to Ethiopia, Ethiopia's military has confirmed the deaths of 15 members of the Tigray region's former ruling party, in addition to 8 others who are being held in captivity. There's more to this.
According to Ethiopia's National Defense Force, those captured included the region's former president, Abiy Weldu, who was also a former chairman of the region's ruling party. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government declared victory in its conflict with the Tigray People's Liberation Front, a political party that previously governed the province on November 28, 2020, after nearly a month of fighting. Fugitive leaders of the TPLF had vowed to continue to fight from the mountains. The latest announcement about those killed and captured comes after the military said it had captured Sebat Nega, a founding member of the TPLF who has been transported to the capital Addis Ababa. The captured former TPLF president, Abiy, was president of the region from 2010 to 2018, replaced by the group's current leader, Debretsion Gebremichael. Abiy was chairman of the party from 2012 to 2017 and was also succeeded by Debretsion in that position. The region's former vice president, Abraham Tekesti, who served as finance minister in the federal government from 2016 to 2018, was also captured. The whereabouts of Debretsion, other members of the party's central committee, and many high-ranking former military officers remain unknown.
This is still Pan-African News. We'll bring you more local stories after this short breather.
Oh, it's incredible! Bang on target!
Na jawti kai mu da do presi wa se won timi ansi
mate insist me sire why na me yikwa na teche wo ejari malaria din ya chisa
eja kan akoma 2 years so onom dan proke heba mister osisi mbadu se from oyire so doctor ka chene se o malaria mo ani bi oni pedue mu a so onom dank antima x yare malaria ebe kokora obi wo honom a ne yem ye ne yanso a so onom dank gastro care heba mister oho beton dank phyto care heba mister koko ebe ye hu adwuma ma wapon waposo won tutu dank extra care ba mister obenya ho den ne watimi anante make afo dank no na heba shop also pe dank no a ye be ma obi
Pacho mo number is saying
0266593330
enroi oba penfo oba ma akora nufo anya akora woni mfie du mienu ntimi no FDA ahwehwe saa edwadie nkratwe mu agya atom se eye.
Thank you for staying. If you just tuned in, this is Pan-African News here on Pan-African Television. My name is Ivy Dede Nakite. Now, still on our local front, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has assured the citizenry of measures to reopen educational institutions across the country. Delivering his 21st televised address, he also expressed the conviction that circumstances were ripe for such a move.
President announced January 15, 2021 as the date of reopening for children in both public and private basic schools, though the students in their second and third year will resume on January 18th, whilst classes will start for first on March 10th, 2020. According to him, students in the first year of second cycle institution will no longer run double-track system. Students in the universities and other tertiary institutions will reopen Saturday, January 9th, 2021. The government has cautioned private schools against mandatory COVID-19 testing of learners as a precondition for admitting them back to school. The Director General of Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku Amankwa, said it was only the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service that had the mandate to carry out such tests. At a press briefing in Accra yesterday to expatiate on the reopening of schools as directed by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was exceedingly worried over plans by some private schools to organize COVID-19 testing as a prerequisite ahead of reopening and admission of new pupils. The GES boss further stressed that no school had been authorized to conduct such tests.
Meanwhile, a management team member of the region Tropfin University of Applied Science in the Upper East region of Ghana, Abuajida Costa, has urged government to factor private universities into the allocation of scholarship for the free senior high school leavers enrolling into the various universities. He made the call during a disinfection exercise conducted by Zoom Lion Ghana with collaboration from the Ministry of Education in the region.
Over 7 private and public universities, including CK Tadam University of Technology and Applied Science, have all undergone the disinfection exercise to destroy any traces of COVID-19 on the various campuses. Some junior and senior high schools in the region have also been disinfected ahead of reopening. Regional Vector Control Officer of Zoom Lion in the Upper East region, John Baptist Asinvim, explained the rationale behind the whole exercise.
We all know that COVID has been with us for a while now, and it seems not to be coming down any moment soon. So, in the President's wisdom, he has directed that certain measures be put in place so that life continues as usual. So, as part of the continuation of our educational system, he has asked that schools be reopened for our students to come back. But this is with certain measures to contain the spread of the COVID. It is in this light that Zoom Lion Ghana Limited is partnering the government to disinfect all schools from tertiary to the basic level. And we have been doing this for so many period. Since the inception of COVID, we've disinfected so many places, marketplaces, health facilities, public places like police stations, chief palaces, and other areas. So this is something that we at Zoom Lion have taken up seriously to partner the government. And we have the state-of-art equipment to do this work. We are here today to begin the disinfection of schools, and we have begun with the tertiary institutions, which will be resuming on the 9th. So in the Upper East region here, we have about 7 tertiary institutions. We have CK Tadam, where we are today. We have University of Applied Sciences at Namo Bongo, Region Trofin. We have Miller Open University, we have St. John Bosco's Teacher Training College, we have Bewa College, we have Miller Open University, and we have Kofi Annan ICT Center of Excellence. This exercise is something that we consider very important because in a way we are contributing to reducing the spread of the COVID.
Wrapping up on our local front, the African Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases on the African continent. The most affected African countries in terms of the number of positive cases include South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, and Ethiopia.
The COVID-19 pandemic was confirmed to have spread to Africa on February 14, 2020, with the first confirmed case announced in Egypt. The first confirmed case in sub-Saharan Africa was announced in Nigeria at the end of February. Within 3 months, the virus had spread throughout the continent, as Lesotho, the last African sovereign state to have remained free of the virus, reported a case on May 13, 2020. By mid-May, it appeared that most African countries were experiencing community transmission, although testing capacity was limited. Most of the identified imported cases arrived from Europe and the United States, rather than from China, where the virus originated. It is believed that there is widespread underreporting in many African countries with less developed healthcare systems. By the second week of June, Africa had surpassed 200,000 cases in total. The number of confirmed new cases is accelerating, with the continent having taken 98 days to record the first 100,000 cases and 18 days for the second 100,000. The pace of the acceleration has continued, with cases passing both the 300,000 and 400,000 marks on July 6, 2020. The pandemic has had a serious economic impact in Africa countries, damaging the continent's growing middle class and threatening to increase the rate of poverty and extreme poverty. There are also lessons such as early travel bans, well-organized contact tracers, etc. that need training as they are critical for containment of the pandemic. As of September 9th, Morocco and Ethiopia had a surge in cases on the continent. On November 12, 2020, the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization reported that confirmed cases have been increasing since July, particularly in North Africa, Tunisia, Morocco, and Libya. The curve has flattened in South Africa and Kenya, while Senegal and Equatorial Guinea have seen a steady decline. New strains of the virus were found in December 2020 in South Africa and Nigeria, in addition to the strain reported in the United Kingdom in September. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases on the African continent has now reached 3,021,769 as of yesterday, and recoveries now stand at 2,450,492.
That's all for the local news. Now, coming up in the world of business, AfCFTA, a complete game changer on the African continent. Kelly Mene. Details of this one coming up after the short break. In the world of business, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat, Kelly Mene, has touted the successful implementation of Free Trade Pact as a game changer for Africa. According to him, the reduced tariff regime under the AfCFTA will enable traders, exporters, and small and medium enterprises to transit their goods and products efficiently.
Speaking in an interview, Kelly Mene explained that the AfCFTA implementation will now witness a transit of goods to other countries in Africa at reduced tariff and barriers, and serve as a game changer on the African continent. Kelly, however, assured that all modalities have been set in place for a smooth but cautious implementation of Free Trade Pact. He also disclosed that some 54 African ministers of trade will meet in Ghana's capital city, Accra, by the end of January this year to hold deliberations and set out a timeline for other trade-related protocols, such as women in trade within the agreement. Meanwhile, trading on the AfCFTA was originally tipped to start on July 1st, 2020, but suffered a setback as a result of the novel coronavirus pandemic, leading to the suspension of negotiations. The Intra-African Trade Pact would witness 90% of all goods traded enjoy a tariff-free regime from January 1st, 2021 for all countries that have signed agreement and deposited their instrument of AfCFTA ratification. With some 54 out of 55 African countries participating in the Single Trade Market Pact, the AfCFTA would have the largest number of member countries in all trade deals since the formation of the World Trade Organization. Ghana's capital, Accra, currently serves as the secretariat of AfCFTA, was commissioned and handed over to the African Union by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on August 17, 2020.
Now, still in the world of business, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has launched a research report that exposes critical gender gaps in allocation of resources utilizing the benefit in mining communities in Ghana. The report, which is titled promoting gender budgeting, the case of mineral royalty utilization in Ghana seeks to underscore the need to relook at how mineral revenue is allocated in view of the need to promote the welfare of women in mining communities.
An opening remark before the launch of the report, which was done via Zoom, the Executive Director of ACEP, Mr. Benjamin Boachi, said the essence of the report was to recognize the impact of socio-cultural issues women tend to suffer in mining communities. The West Africa Regional Manager for Natural Resource Governance Institute, Ms. Nafi Chinri, said mineral royalties were important sources of revenue for subnational government in affected mining communities. Therefore, decisions around their allocation, transparency in their disbursement, representation and participation around their implementation were critical steps at ensuring equal benefit of development processes in these communities. Ms. Chinri said the report was important because it created an intersection between macro and micro level policy work, highlighted the gender gaps in the legal framework for results governance, highlighted gaps in implementation and coordination of some existing policies and frameworks, and suggested the incorporation and implementation of gender-sensitive budgeting in the extractive sector. She indicated that if Ghana did not take steps to rectify some of the gaps, the nation would be entrenching the systematic and structural gender inequality in the country's mining communities. Ms. Chinri hoped that as the nation pursued resource-backed loans and in the Ghana government's recent attempt to raise capital in difficult times and leverage the country's gold royalties for development, the framework for allocation and utilization of revenues would be guided by gender differential issues that existed in mining communities. The country director, Oxfam Ghana, Mr. Tijani Ahmed Hamza, in a statement before launching the report, observed that Oxfam participated in the research because they believe one of the challenges of the 21st century is how to deal with the challenges of gender inequality. Mr. Hamza informed that even though statistics about gender disparity in Ghana was not good, there was the potential to address gender inequality. In that regard, Mr. Hamza indicated that the report was another wake-up call for Ghana to begin to rethink the existing laws and policies and how they had not been forthcoming in addressing the core needs of the vulnerable.
And finally, in business, let's take a look at how the cedi is performing against some major currencies. $5.757 and selling at 5.763. Pounds, buying 7.810 and selling at 7.819. Now the euro is also buying at 7.045 and selling at 7.051. Naira 66.834. That is buying and selling at 67.181. CFA is buying at 93.018 and selling at 93.109. Now, if you want to trade with the dollars, pounds, etc., those are the figures. We bring you international stories from our international partners. People's Dispatch after this short break.
Do you want a pleasant, sweet aroma in your environment? Venus Air Freshener provides a sweet and fresh odor for your home, school, hotel, hospital, leaving the environment with a nice fresh aroma that lasts longer. It also contains ingredients that fight against insects, cockroach, mosquito, and housefly, and the product is approved by the FDA. For bulk, contact 0555 874437 or 0242 824 952. Venus Air Freshener leaves a long-lasting freshness.
Now, with the happenings outside Africa, on Thursday, January 7, Communist Youth Front (FGC) organized demonstrations in several cities across Italy demanding safer classrooms. Schools across Italy were supposed to be reopened on that day, but the government postponed the reopening to Monday.
FGC organized protests in the cities of Rome, Milan, Naples, Turin, Florence, Perugia, Catania, Padova, Salerno, Taranto, Cosenza, Gorizia and Ascoli. The protesters said that since the beginning of the pandemic, nothing substantial has been done to ensure safety in schools and respect for students' rights during online lessons. FGC also gave a call for a national mobilization of students on January 29, demanding safety in schools and in solidarity with the national general strike called by the trade unions and other progressive sections protesting the precarious situation of the working class during COVID-19 crisis. FGC has stated that the government has once again changed its mind and decided to reopen schools on January 11. Students are thrown into the greatest uncertainty. The lack of clear outlook on public education is not caused by incompetence, by the precise political choices to adapt the agenda to the need of Confindustria, General Confederation of Italian Industry and Businesses. The organization said that those in power were united in their willingness to pass the social costs on to workers, thus also affecting students. On January 29, we will join the general strike. We combine students' effort with workers and build national students' mobilization, added FGC. The Communist Refoundation Party, PRC in Italy, also raised serious concerns regarding the government's insensitivity towards ensuring safety of students in the wake of the reopening of the schools. Even though Italy had started reopening schools by September following the first round of lockdown due to COVID-19, it was forced to shut them down again due to another spike in cases. As of January 9, around 2,257,866 COVID-19 infections have been recorded in Italy, with 78,394 deaths. As of the same day, Italy had vaccinated 512,824 people across the country. Vincenzo Colaprise from the Young Communist in Italy told People's Dispatch that now more than ever it is necessary to ensure that the right to health is respected for everyone and to ensure public control over the vaccination campaign, hinder private profit and ensure transparency in agreements with multinationals.
On Sunday, January 10, around 3,000 people marched in Berlin to commemorate Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht, the founders of the Communist Party of Germany, KPD. They were murdered on January 15 by paramilitary forces following the Spartacist uprising on the instigation of the Social Democratic Party of Germany, SPD, government to curb the communist rebellion.
On Sunday, police tried to forcefully disrupt the rally, injuring participants and injuring others. Communist, youth, Antifa groups participated in the mobilization on Sunday. The Spartacist uprising of January 1919 was a communist uprising against the post-war transition government led by SPD and with the aim of setting up a workers' republic. The uprising started as a general strike on January 5 and quickly became an armed conflict between the workers and the far-right paramilitary groups called Freikorps. The communist rebellion was brutally suppressed and on January 15, Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht were murdered by Freikorps. According to reports on Sunday, the police attacked the peaceful rally in Berlin, which was organized adhering to COVID-19 safety protocols by leftist groups, alleging that sections within the rally were carrying banned symbols referring to the flags of the Free German Youth. The FDJ was the youth wing of the Socialist Unity Party of Germany and the official youth movement of the German Democratic Republic, GDR. Progressive sections across Germany, including the German Communist Party, DKP, Socialist German Workers' Youth, SDHA, condemned the police attack on the rally. The Berlin Committee of Socialist German Workers' Youth has stated that the police and the media are trying to justify the police attack by claiming that the displaying of the Free German Youth symbols is prohibited in public. The SDHA refuted this claim on the ban of FDJ symbols, pointing to a Berlin local court ruling differently in 2014 and acquitting those who were accused in a similar offense. The attack on the demonstration clearly shows that a powerful communist movement poses a danger to the ruling class in Germany, and for them, it should be criminalized as an anti-capitalist force. The police are not afraid to violate the law themselves. However, we did not let our right to the demonstration be taken away and walk through Friedrichshain, Lichtenberg and Friedrichsfeld to the memorial of the socialists. The announcement of the revolutionary monument at the Central Cemetery could not be more clear. The dead remind us, added the SDHA.
Credit to our international partners, People's Dispatch for our international news. My colleague and comrade, Bless Alamaso, is on standby with some sports update.
Hello?
Oh, sound.
Okay, wait a minute. Why? My wife comes and send a message. Your office is going on free. Hello? I didn't know. What's happened?
It's a child who's will be a quiet say what? I dare say.
Besides, one friend, I'm so young. My wife not testing messages here. And our office also. I'm trying to tell you, man. She says, I
mean, so we a guy, Manu, and may young who could look cry. And so also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's the name? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Here to borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, Ye Frey 0240 333 111 and NASA 0244 144 822.
Miampa and you want swimming pool me see? Me want to real BBA. Family drilling now. Family drilling. We are
Now, thank you for staying. Bless is here with some sports updates. Bless, tell us what is happening in the world of sports.
Yeah, so on the international front, there were some FA Cup matches far away in Europe. So
Chelsea, Tottenham, and then Man City, they had big wins there. But then let's come down to our local terrain, where there was a fixture between Accra Hearts of Oak and Elmina Sharks. So that match ended in a 1-0 draw. There's more to the story.
Dominated the first half and deservedly found the back of the net, with Hearts turning on their style in the second to claw back into the game. Abdulmanaf Umar made a beautiful attempt to score, but his efforts went over the frame in the 17th minute. Elmina Sharks would hit back 3 minutes later through Benjamin Chenebua, but he shot wide. Midfield gem James Bisu produced an eye-catching performance to beat the Hearts of Oak defense and slotted the ball home for the opening goal of the match. The Phobians nearly equalized just after the half-hour mark, but goalkeeper Bawa Mate denied them with another beautiful save from a low, powerful drive. Hearts of Oak continued their push for the equalizer before the break, but Elmina Sharks thwarted their efforts with some valiant defending. Left back Randy Ovoka sent a perfectly weighted pass to Daniel Efriye Bani, but a timely clearance denied him of a goal. At the other side, Hearts of Oak goalkeeper Richmond Ayi showed quick anticipation to prevent Sharks from increasing the tally. Just before the break, Justice Ato Mensah narrowly missed an empty goal. Referee Benjamin Kwame Sefa waved play to continue after Sharks talisman Benjamin Chenebua went down inside the box. Chenebua was later booked for dissent. Hearts of Oak's pressure paid off, and Victor Kweku Edu, who headed in a cross from Fatau Abdullahi Muhammad. Elmina Sharks were reduced to 10 men after Benjamin Atta was expelled in the 76th minute. The draw takes the Phobians to 5th on the league log with 12 points, 3 behind leaders Ashanti Gold.
Now let us go through the remaining results of game week 8. The results will be displayed on your screens. Legon Cities got their first win of the season finally. It was against Wafa. They won that game by 1 goal. Mediama SC won 2-1 at home to Aduana Stars. 11 Wonders. They won 3-1 to Karela United in a 4-goal thriller. Brekum Chelsea pipped Inter Allies to a 1-0 win. Great Olympics could not stand the might of informer Ashanti Gold FC. They lost that game by 2-1. Dreams FC managed to pip Busuna Drafts to a 2-0 win. Became United and then Kinfaisal shared spoils. That match ended 1-1. And then Elmina Sharks and then Hearts of Oak, we brought you that match earlier, also ended in a 1-1 tie. Coming up later this evening will be Asante Kotoko versus Liberty. Move to the Ghana Premier League standings after match week 8. Ashanti Gold are at the very summit of the league log. They have played 8 matches and they have accrued 15 points. Became United also have accrued 15 points. They come second in terms of goal difference. Karela United are third with some 14 points. Now let us go to the 12th position that is occupied by Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now they have accrued 9 points. They have played 6 matches. They have 2 outstanding matches. Now let us go to the very bottom where Inter Allies lie 16th with 7 points. 17th place goes to Legon Cities, who got their first win. They have accrued 6 points as well. And then languishing at the very bottom of the league log is King Faisal, who have played 8 matches and have also accrued a paltry 6 points. Now, let us go to basketball, where an American-based organization, Real Deal Fitness, in collaboration with Basketball Nation, has held a basketball training camp to unearth talent. The training camp held at the Aviation Social Center, Accra, brought together many basketball players, coaches, and fans of the game. There's more to this in the following Sports Desk report.
Yeah, so we are at the Aviation Social Center here in Accra, and it's a real fitness organization, Ghana, in collaboration with Basketball Nation. Actually, Basketball Nation engaging in this project. That is the basketball training camp here at this venue. And what we're going to do is that we're going to be speaking to some of the participants, as you can see here, get their views concerning or their experience with respect to this training camp, what they gather from it. Also speak to some coaches and if the anticipation or the expectations actually have been met with respect to this training program. So now we're speaking to Coach Nana Mafu, who is a coach, a player of basketball as well, and actually somebody we spoke to. Nana, let me speak to you. Last week we were at the event in partnership with American Football Federation. Today we are here at the Aviation Social Center. They are doing the same thing here, bringing up talent. What continues to inspire you?
It's just the youth. I see the youth, and I want to empower them. I want to do whatever I can to bring shine to them because they're the future of Ghana. I'm in abroad. I see a lot of, like I told you, Nigerians, other African countries that they push the youth, but in Ghana I don't see that much. So I'm here, and I want to do my part to make sure that everybody in the world knows that Ghana got talent too.
Just as we spoke about American football, the same with basketball, a sport that is not much known in the country, at least finance. Where do you see the picture? What do you seek to do to change the rhetoric?
So right now, I told you the idea is to have about 10 to 11 schools that wants to play football, which we have. I'm looking for more schools now to grow the sports.
So you are the director-in-chief of Basketball Nation, and talk to us about Basketball Nation. What does this entail?
Okay, so basically we're into development. So, you know, tournaments happen in Ghana, and then the kids go out there and then they show what they know, which isn't a lot, because nobody's really teaching them how the game is played. So when they end up out there, you know, they get outclassed by their counterparts.
So they go with high hopes, but the skills set is not there.
Exactly. There's no technical know-how, there's no tactical know-how, skill is not there, you know, so that's even probably why the government is not supporting the game. So some of us are trying to change the government mindset by teaching the kids how to play. So if the government sees that, hey, we're winning games, then they might come on board, because right now they're really not.
Now let's talk about the game. Share with us. We know that we have in football, we have 90 minutes being played. We know that we have corner kicks. We know that we have penalty shootouts. We know we have a lot of free kicks. We have a lot of things. Share with us, the person who doesn't know much about basketball, what is it that the game entails? Some sort of education for anyone watching us who has interest in the game.
Okay. Basically, basketball has some general rules, which is very, very consistent with the Basketball Nation, as in anybody who's interested in it. But there are a lot of technicalities in basketball. Talk about the NBA. There are certain rules that differ from the NBA and then the FIBA. When I talk FIBA, I talk about the federation itself. So the basketball, for instance, just recently, up until a few years ago, FIBA never allowed the zero step, but now I learned to respect. So basketball.
When you talk about zero step, then what are you referring to?
Before, if I grab a ball, I'm allowed to step before I bounce. But in FIBA, you are supposed to bounce before you step. Okay, so the zero rule was in the NBA, but it wasn't allowed in FIBA. Okay, so now it's allowed. So there are a lot of technicalities.
Hey, you're doing great. Let me know you. What's your name?
My name is Isabella Kofadisu.
Isabella, a lot of gentlemen here playing the game, and I think I can just count you and just a few other ladies. I'm told about 4 of you. What inspires you as a lady to take on this game of basketball, which is more or less deemed to be a game for men?
Well, basically myself and the fact that I like trying things that is difficult. Basically that. Because I first I always like to challenge myself, try to do things that people can't do, like try to challenge myself basically. At first, I was in a dark place, but then ever since I found basketball as an outlet, it's been great, and I've grown to love the game very much.
Talk to you about stigmatization. When you're playing the game, having to sometimes be stigmatized at very much. You see those sort of, sorry to say, uncalled for words.
Oh, a lot. There are a lot. You can come to the court and then...
Share with me some experience.
Yeah. You can come to the court and then some guys are just abusing you, like... I'll say sexual abuse, like touching you at private places and stuff. You can come...
That is the extent that some people can go to.
Yeah, there are some extents, and you can come and then they don't allow you to play because you're a girl. They feel you're not as hard as they are. But, basically, yeah, and you go out and then every time you're walking on the street, someone is like, hey, this girl is a tomboy or something because of the way I guess to play basketball and stuff. It's just that, but then if you're not focused, it'll just put you off. I know a lot of friends who have...
And that's how we draw curtains on today's Midday Sports with me, Blessed Headman Alomaso. Dede Nakite comes your way with the latest updates in entertainment. Do stay.
Now let's do some showbiz stories. African music has made tremendous strides within and outside the continent, widely touted as a lover's paradise and adventurous rock. As part of effort to adulate African music legends in their invaluable contribution to varying degrees of the genre, our entertainment desk profiles Beninese icon Zainab Habib.
Zainab Habib christened Olukemi Zainab Habibu at birth on September 25, 1975, is a Yoruba Beninese singer of the world, born in the Ivorian capital, Abidjan. She won the Kora Awards in 2005 in the category Best Female Artist in West Africa and has been UNICEF's National Goodwill Ambassador since 2007. Zainab's father was an electronic engineer and her mother was a trader. She is the 8th child to her parents and was raised in a large Muslim family with more than 16 other siblings. Growing up, Zainab engaged herself in music-related school competitions. She later enrolled at the General Education College of Alada in 1993. Although she completed the Series A at her senior secondary school, she dropped out to pursue a career in music. She then started to make local stage appearances, including hosting a karaoke bar at the Alex Hotel in Cotonou, Benin for more than a year. Zainab received international recognitions for her music. As of October 2015, she was the national ambassador for UNICEF in Benin. During a music recital in 2005, she caught the attention of the Super Quartz Orchestra, who later recruited her to sing for them. This opened up opportunities for her to meet and partner with notable musicians of that time, including Fifi Rafiatu, Awilo Logomba, Jackie Rapon, Jimmy Hope, Nell Oliver, Bak Medio, Kiwi Kanta, and Mado Isbad. Apart from work, Zainab Habib passes a lot of time on skill development.
Now that does it for today's Pan-African News here on Pan-African Television. But before we go, let's take a look again at our headlines. Supreme Court to hear the 2020 general election petition on Thursday.